Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Kulsu. I am coming today live on LinkedIn and YouTube and also on the Clubhouse and Wisdom app. I just want to chat with you on a topic that we were talking this morning about holidays. People are lonely, people are unhappy, people are having a lot of emotional stress. That's all going on, right? This is always a relevant subject, especially with all the way the economy is, the people not having the jobs or visiting families in distress with the COVID, so many long COVID people. So I can see that so much going on in terms of this feeling of not really connected, not really relating to anybody meaningfully, and having a good time with the people that we are relate to, right? So that's a nationwide or worldwide phenomenon probably, and there's so much of mental health problems, and people are trying to help them. So this is my way of looking at things and giving the perspective in the hope it will help somebody. Even if it helps one person, I will be happy. Okay. So I'm a internal medicine doctor. I'm not a therapist, but I took a lot of interest into the ancient wisdom, where they were much more psychologically stable, not much of anxiety, and people are really cared for the earth, for the families, and much more connected to a lot more things, right? So this phenomena of separation from the family, separation in relationships, and separation with the community is a modern phenomenon. So people are much more vulnerable to the loneliness that they face. First of all, what do I mean by alone and loneliness? Aloneness is being alone. Like, for example, we are bothered by too much of noise outside. We say, leave me alone, right? That means we want to be not with the disturbing noise or disturbing thoughts or disturbing arguments, whatever that comes at us from outside. We want to be alone from that, right? Okay? The other thing is, you got to be alone when you're really reflecting on your thoughts, on yourself, and what you are. Those deeper spiritual practices need you to be alone. Whereas this feeling of loneliness is you are with the family, you are forming relationships, and then you are cut off from that, either by disease or by conflict and argument, or by really falling apart the relationship, and also death. The people can be um, cut off from the relationship, and then they feel like they were cut off from everything, so they don't feel like connected to anything. So that is when you feel lonely, and you are really not liking that, you are not going anywhere, and you kind of feel miserable and depressed, and people may take a drink or may take drugs and all that kind of suffering also goes on, right? So, understanding this aloneness or loneliness are human phenomena. You know, Animals may miss the owner. That's attachment. And they may have that kind of like they're grieving for their loss of somebody who is managing them, who is attached to them, or they are separated from them. They also feel that too. But then the human suffering is much more intense, because this mind is something that we don't do very good job of it, and it has its own life like, and it can bother us from inside. Even though you have everything else, your mind can make you feel miserable, because at holidays, those things do not matter, but somebody's friendly face, or somebody's kind word, or somebody's affection, that's what we are hanging for, right? And when that is not there, you feel really separated from that. Okay. So aloneness is important to turn inward, and when you turn inward, you will get in touch with who you really are. That is not your body or the mind, but your inner self. That was the whole thing about the ancients. They worked very hard on that, and they went into that. They had a simple life outward, but inwardly they very rich life. And they take Buddha, for example. He left all his princely things, all the luxuries. He was a prince, right? And he just took leave from all of them and went and contemplated alone. And he did not want to get up from the under the Bodhi tree until he finds out what is valuable in life, what he is. Then he kind of encounters the activities of the mind, and then he negates all of that and then transcends that mind which is constantly chattering that I'm alone or I'm lonely. All that is mind chattering, right? He went beyond it, thereby he was Buddha. Buddha means who has transcended his mind. And then he established himself in that reality beyond the mind, and that's where he is connected to everything else, because everybody has that being in us. Once you are connected at that being, you are connected to every other being on the earth. So that is when you don't feel loneliness at all. So turn inward to realize who you are, which is the fulfillment center. And once you discover that, you see the same fulfilling center in everybody else. And then you say, I'm connected, thereby I'm not lonely. You are not swayed by your desires, you are not swayed by your temporary pleasures, but you are in that blissful self, which is our real self. Ancient called this as existence, consciousness, and bliss. For this, you got to really peel off the layers that you are not. You are not just physical body, you are not the subtle body of mind and thoughts and desires and all the small pleasures and all that. You are not that. But you are that fulfilled, already existing, already blissful nature of yours. Once you are connected to that, then you see without that, I don't have a life in my mind, I don't have life in my body. And once you realize that life-giving source and established in that, you will see the same thing in everybody else. And that's how you don't have any loneliness, because you are already connected. You are existing in that connection, and you are conscious in that connection. You are blissful in that connection. Once you turn inward and find yourself, you will be in bliss. You will not be in loneliness. Loneliness is which is cut off from everything. No, you are already connected. You are in the union. You just realize that now by calming your mind and understanding who you are with your intuitive awareness. Understand this, and you will be blissful and smiling all the time, even in the times of stress, adversity, or poverty. You will be smiling and blissful all the time. Okay. So, in this season of holidays, I wanted to give this brief uh, take on what I feel about alone and what about loneliness. I'm not lonely because I know I'm connected to everybody at the being level. So once you are there, you don't have the pain of separation. You're already united with the source. Thank you. I hope it will help somebody to come out of that awful, painful feeling of loneliness, and and understanding what's the importance of being alone. And when you're alone, you don't have anything else. I'll turn inward and do the dhyana. Dhyana means concentrating on one thought and going beyond. The thought is that silence that is called samadhi. Okay, so you can use the time to do that way if you are alone, and use that aloneness as a gift for you to turn inward and realize this immense diamond that we have inside. Okay, so I will end this here, because this is what I want to say. Suppose I hope it will catch somebody, and they will look into this and discover the fact of it and discover the truth of connectedness, and we'll be relishing in that. Happy holidays and happy new year. Thank you.